My name is JT, and this is a story about how I built my homestead.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of jttime. JT here, and today you can see the smoke's already going. I'm gonna go ahead and do another 2 briskets and a chicken, and today I'm focusing more on caulking, of course. I think I'm on the last day, we'll see. I have all day here, so I have one more wall left. I think I can do a quick walk around the entire house, but I think that I'm hoping today's the day. You'll notice that the video is a little different. It's because I'm recording on my camera on my phone. Don't have my my other camera at the moment, so I'm kind of going a little just I don't know what the word is, what I was looking for, but yeah, I'm recording on my phone. So I'll show you guys right now the brisket when I'm cooking it. I typically like my temperature, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll just tell it to you guys. I like my temperature around 225 to 275. And I have an offset grill. The steel is about a 1/4 inch thick. So I actually do very well with, I hear somebody pulling up to my house. Let me actually pause it here. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that interruption. I pretty much do my grilling at or smoking and barbecuing at 275 to 225. I kind of give myself a 50-degree range, and I use it's called iGrill, which is kind of a Bluetooth kind of thermometer. It allows me to have 4 probes, so I leave one probe to the center of the grill, where I pretty much usually split between poultry and brisket. So if you're looking at my grill where the smokestack's at, this is where I keep my 2 briskets. So there's one on this side, one on the other side, and then over here on this side, closer to the firebox, which is right there, this side has my poultry. So typically I want to cook my poultry at like 275 to 325. So the way my grill is set up, there's a pretty big temperature change. I was surprised when I first bought it, and I mean, people were raving that, you know, most grills you can keep them pretty consistent across it, but my smoker has a pretty big temperature grading on it, which means at the firebox it can be like 350 degrees, and then at the smokestack where the heat's coming out of the smoker, it's like, I don't know, 225 maybe. So there's like a pretty big gap there between like one side of the smoker to the other side. So I mean, if I were to get a different one, I'd probably get maybe even 1/2 inch steel and try to go a little bit thicker. That way I could cook more and have less of a temperature grading across my smoker. But for the most part, for me, it works out pretty well. I actually really like it. And for my particular smoker, it's Lifetime brand. It's pretty much made in Uvalde, Texas. And oops, a little windy out here. It's for the most part, it's been a pretty good smoker. I think if I got a new smoker, I would probably end up building one custom, but it would be big enough to actually haul into a trailer though, that way, because this guy's super heavy to move around. He's like 1,000 pounds, and it's not fun to move him around, to be honest, especially if I'm like trying to go somewhere with him. I pretty much say no go, don't do it. But at home it works fine. And once I get it started, I typically use white post oak. So this is the wood that I use right here. This stuff is pretty cheap. Aaron Franklin uses it on his barbecue, or that's what he recommends in his his barbecue manifest. And I get this for like maybe, I don't remember how much I get it for. I think it's like $60 for half a cord, which is 1 foot by 8 foot by, it's either 4 or 8 foot tall, I forget, but it's a lot of wood. It's like the back of my truck pretty much is how much it costs, and it's $60. So this is a lot better than getting it like the grocery store where they charge you $8 for a little bag that's probably like maybe 3 logs worth. So I use this stuff pretty good. I got a wood guy that I buy my stuff from, wood guy. So this is what I use. In addition to that, when I'm starting my fire, I use about 6 logs. So my setup right now has been kind of a teepee in the box. So it's like 6 logs straight up. And then what I do is I stick in the middle of it I don't like to use fuel. I don't like to use any kind of starter because I think that it kind of taints the flavor a little bit when you add any kind of starter fluid in it. So I use just pure heat, and then I have an electric starter, which makes my life a lot easier. And all it is kind of a metallic ring that heats up really, really hot. This is it right here. This is it right here. You can see it's been used a lot. It's pretty rusted, but it still works for the most part. But I pretty much just stick it in the middle. I should have showed you guys a picture. I'm sorry. I'll show you all next time, since we already got the fire started. But I stick it in the middle of that, and then I set a fan right next to it. And those two combinations, you know, you have your starting point, which is the fire starter, the electric one, and then you have your fan blowing. So sooner or later it gets so hot that it just starts to flame, and then from that point forward it's ready to go after about an hour or so of burning. So I get some pretty solid charcoals going before I actually start smoking, and then after that it's about every hour or so I'll throw in 2 more logs. But the way I control the temperature really is a lot of it's regulated through the vent. So my vent, I leave about this much open, so it's probably cracked about maybe halfway. It doesn't look like halfway, but I measure it using this little guy right here, this guy. So he's about halfway right now. And that usually, and the smokestack I leave completely open. I don't like choking from that side. I think it bogs it down, and I'd rather choke it from this side, which is the air inflow rather than the air exhaust. So if you think about it that way, right, if you're choking the exhaust, I feel like you're just trapping a lot of the smoke in the smoker, and yeah, you want smoke flavor, but I'm smoking this thing for hours. You know, it's like 10 to 12 hours, so I'm gonna get my smoke flavor. I'm not worried about that. And I've cooked a few where I've done that. I've tried to just choke the exhaust, and it doesn't come out good. It's like, it's kind of a little too smoky, where it has a bitterness to it as a result. Kind of like cooking with green wood. I've cooked with green wood, and that tastes really nasty too. Don't do it. It kind of wastes your time. But I find that choking it from this side, it's better, because for me at least, because it allows the smoke to freely exit the top vent, and you want this. To me, I just feel like the better circulation and the better that the smoke can just exit, the better it ends up tasting. So we're about maybe an hour and a half into the cook right now. I probably won't look at the brisket or the chicken until maybe about 2 hours in, at least the chicken. But the brisket, I probably won't look at it until maybe about 4 or 5 hours in. I really want that bark on it, and it's gonna be pretty hot today. I think it's gonna be about 90 degrees over here. So I do have apple cider vinegar to spritz it with, and I'll probably start spritzing around hour 4, hour 5, just because I don't want it to dry out completely, and that'll help keep moisture in it. I do have a water bucket inside the grill as well. That'll help me. But I think that's it. That's pretty much it. So I'll check into this. But right now I'm still caulking on the other side. You guys have seen that, so it's nothing else new. But I'll focus more today's episode on how I actually smoke my brisket and smoke my chicken. Alright, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, this is the moment of truth. We're finally here. I finished caulking and I'm really tired right now actually. It is so hot right now. It's probably over 90 degrees where we're at, and let me show you what I got done. Alright, so this is the last wall that I was working on. Sorry for the shakiness. My iPhone does not have stability like the other camera does. But yeah, I finished all this. I finished all the windows and pretty much all the piping down this side. I'm pretty happy about that, to be honest. I don't have anything else left to do really besides kind of walk the house and see if there's any other areas around the house that I need to touch up on. But I already did the walk around and it looks pretty good in general. As far as the smoking goes, let me give you guys an update on that. Alright, so sorry if it's very, very bright. It's a very, very gorgeous day today at the house, and unfortunately it's very hot too. So I pretty much finished the chicken. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to record that because my wife came over and I was hanging out with her and our daughter. But pretty much I cooked the chicken to about I think it's 159. Let me check real quick. Okay, yeah, last interruption, I promise. Not really, I'm probably gonna interrupt again. I cooked the chicken to about 159. It took about 2 hours to get to 159, and then I put it in it's not here anymore, but pretty much it's one of these. My wife took it home in case you were wondering. I use one of these little trays, these metal trays, and when it gets to 159, all I really do is I put the chicken inside of it, put in a lot of butter. In our case, we don't do dairy, so we use ghee, which is pretty expensive. So if you can handle butter, I'd say just use that. Ghee does have a very unique flavor though, so if you like the flavor of ghee, I would recommend giving it a shot, trying it out, see if you like it. Costco sells it for pretty cheap. So I put ghee on there. I kind of coat the entire outside with ghee, and then I put a good amount inside of it too. So it's probably uses about maybe a cup of ghee, to be honest. It's a lot of butter. But it's pretty good though. I mean, those drippings off of it, oh, you can do so much with it. You can take those drippings and then cook down veggies with it. Oh, it's amazing. It's one of my favorites. I love to do that with like collards or just any kind of green from the garden, really. It's magic juice is what I call it, magic juice. Okay, anyways, back to the subject. So then I throw it in the oven, or back in the, not the oven, but back into the smoker, and I smoke it for another 1 hour and 30 minutes. Usually that'll guarantee that it'll go up to temperature correctly, and it'll still be juicy. That's what I was trying to say. So the brisket's wrapped already. Typically I cook my brisket to 203, and I usually stop to wrap it with butcher paper around 180 or so, and then I finish the rest of it off from 180 to 203 inside the oven with butcher paper. Usually at hour 4, hour 5, I'll start spritzing it. So I spritzed it with apple cider vinegar. Nothing fancy. It's just really to keep moisture in it, really, and not let it like really get hard on the outside. I mean, you want that bark, but you don't want like crazy bark where you're not gonna enjoy it and it's just crunchy. It's like a cracker, you know. You don't want that. and wrapped it with a bunch of paper. That really just keeps the moisture in. And let me see here. In case you're wondering what it looks like, that's pretty much it right there. You can barely see it, sorry. Let's see if I can focus in on it. It's too bright out, but pretty much yeah, there you go. There's one in the back, there's another one here. They're both grass-fed, so I'm happy about that. And I'm excited about it, to be honest. The grass-fed beef, man, it's completely different flavor from what you get. I compared it against a Costco brisket, USDA certified Costco brisket there, which is typically my go-to place because it's great marbling, really good fat content, and it just beat it out, like in terms of flavor. It just had so much better flavor. So I would highly recommend, if you ever get the chance and you want to splurge a little bit, go for a grass-fed and do smoke barbecue it. See how you like it. For me, it was really good. Worth the extra price, to be honest. I think that it's that much better than a regular brisket, USDA prime, you know. So that's it. Let me go ahead and put my ladders up, and I'm gonna start painting for now. I got some little things to do, take care of here around there, kind of tidying up the place a little bit more. So I may get to painting today, I may not. I have a good amount of, I probably have like another 2 to 3 hours of cooking time to go, maybe more than that, to be honest. And it's already like 3 o'clock here. So we'll see. I'm really hoping I don't get stuck out here again like last time. So, alright, see you guys soon. Hey guys, so I was looking through my videos and I totally realized, or totally forgot and realized, that I never ended my last episode, episode 10. So here's the end of the video. As you can see, we've already been kind of grubbing down on the 2 different briskets. This is one of the briskets. This is another one of the briskets. These are what we have left of the briskets. This is, of course, your flat side. This is your fat side, or not, I guess, lean side and fat side of the brisket. So you can kind of see the marbling here on the fat side. This is refrigerated, so I do like to keep it in chunks and slice it as needed when I'm serving it. But overall, comments in general is that I realized after the fact that this one is actually not grass-fed. This one is a Wagyu Angus cross breed, and it was really great. It was very tender. The fat cap on it was a little different. I wish I could kind of show it to you guys because it was tricky to kind of figure out how to trim down, and I honestly didn't know what to do with it in terms of how to work with it, because it just didn't look like a traditional brisket to me. But I cooked it the best I could and it came out really well. But again, going back to the fact that grass-fed beef, in my opinion, just has a better flavor to the meat itself. So you know, everybody home right now eating it, we were trying this one versus the other one, and yeah, the tenderness of this one was better because you got better marbling on it and stuff like that, but the taste of the meat, of the protein actually, on this one was just it was better. It was better in my opinion, and of course that's just subjective, it's just me. But I figured this video did deserve an end to it, an official end to it, and luckily I still had some of the meat here. The chicken's already deboned, and I mean I could show you like meat of chicken, but that's kind of pointless. But yeah, this is all bits and pieces. I'm not really trying to show you how to per se, I'm just really showing you what I'm doing. So hopefully you can get what you want, and you know, if you want me to do a how-to, let me know, and I'll do an actual how-to on exactly the process that I use, but otherwise you'll kind of get piecewise. All right, so I guess I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks again for watching. See you real soon here on JT Time. This is a mustard shirt, by the way. Yeah. Don't judge me.